Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to shine the light on Navy women's rugby. We're brought to you by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Sydney Boutz joins us. And sit for your team, an opportunity to compete for a star this week. Just what does that mean, being able to compete for a star like a lot of other teams now on the yard?
It's incredibly exciting for our team. We've played Army for years, but as a club team, they were varsity. We just didn't have that chance for a star match. So now that we have it, we are super excited to head up to their place and see what we can do out there.
For your team, too, I think the important thing right now is there seems to be a trend in the right direction. You guys seem to be improving, getting better. How has that occurred for your team as this season grinds along toward the end?
We have had a great last 3 games, and I really think a big part of that is just having more time together with each other on the field and really getting a feel for how your teammates play so we can then adjust to make better plays off of what we have learned throughout the season. And I'm so proud of our team and the growth that we've shown this year. So I think that that's going to give us a good edge coming into Army.
You hit on a good point right there. I mean, look, you can draw up all kinds of set pieces and, strategy and things that you hope to do. But even in this sport, how important is it to just be able to play off of each other and do things instinctively out there that can maybe give you an edge at times?
It's incredibly important in rugby when you have 15 players on the field who are just from your team. You just have to kind of be in tune with what everyone does and how they play. So, like, if I know that I'm going in with Maggie Geiger and she's carrying the ball, I know that she's going to have an explosive, powerful carry, and I need to be right behind her so I can support her when she goes down. And it's the same for like my other teammates, the other forwards, and then us forwards, we know if you're following a back into contact that you've got to be right behind them to support them, and that they're great at passing that ball off, so you can always be ready for an offload or something like that from them. So it's been great for us to have more time to mesh and learn from each other, like you were saying.
As an athlete and being competitive, what is it about rugby that attracts people to rugby? Because this is so different. This is physicality without all the pads like we see in football. It's athleticism, but as you mentioned, with 15 other people out there on the field, there's so many different things to it, yet we know the goal is the same. It's competing to win. What is it about this sport that drives people to it in your mind?
In my mind, it's just the free flow of the sport that draws people to it. There are so many different positions and set pieces that happen in rugby that it really allows for a lot of creativity and play, which is, it just feels beautiful. Like, sometimes I don't feel like I'm playing a sport. It feels closer to art, just because you have to do so much preparation to get to the point where you're on the field. But once you're on that field and the ball has been kicked off, you just have the freedom to take it and play your game, because there are so many different opportunities for different players to express their individual form of athleticism, that it's just beautiful. And I think a lot of my teammates feel the same way about the sport.
You mentioned earlier about competing as a club team and now obviously doing it as a varsity team. Can you kind of explain what that means to the audience who might not necessarily understand the jump? Because obviously rugby's had a terrific tradition here at the Naval Academy, but there is a difference between club and varsity status, is there not?
There is. So with the club status, we were still very lucky and got to spend a lot of time together practicing. But now that we're at the varsity level, we get more time in the gym, which for a rugby team is incredibly important. And I think our scrums have shown the work of that. And then it also just protects players from injury, being able to get in the gym. And we just have a lot more support on the admin end, which helps us then be more unburdened as we go into play, and we can just think about the sport and what we want to do going into contact or onto the pitch for that weekend. So it's been amazing to be Varsity now. It's also helped us up our level of play, and we're now part of the NERA League, which has been amazing, which we couldn't really our transition to Varsity helped us get there. So we're playing these amazing teams, which has been really good for us this year.
For you individually, how long have you been playing rugby, and what got you into rugby?
I have only been playing rugby for 3 years now, so since I started at the academy. And the thing that got me here was another midshipman. I remember I came in my junior year, after my junior year of high school, to the summer seminar camp at the academy, and I met this amazing upperclassman here who really inspired me, and she said that she played rugby. And so I thought, well, why don't I go out for that sport and see what I can do? And I was incredibly lucky to have her as my teammate, and the rest has been history. I've just loved this team and the women who are on it and the sport. It's all so amazing.
You know, you bring up another good point there. I mean, having a mentor at a place like the Naval Academy, we know every mid is expected to participate in some form of physical activity, whether it be club or varsity status. But having a mentor like that to kind of help you along and you know, show you something new. I mean, expand the athletic horizons a little bit. You know, is that kind of what the rugby culture is all about? Because rugby's a sport, rowing, other sports like that are sports where sometimes it is a mid that says to another one, "Hey, come on out and try this," and all of a sudden you like it and you really, you know, find a way to be good at it.
Yes, it completely is that. Our coach has always told us, if there's someone back at the hall who you think would be a great player and would fit the culture of our team, please bring her out. And we have seen multiple times over that people who come on to the team in that form, they may be coming on a couple years late, like they're starting a year late, but then by their senior year they're doing amazing things out on the pitch, because that's what our program is about. It's about bringing midshipmen onto the rugby field, which can then develop us into better leaders for the fleet. And we just have, like you were saying, we just have this beautiful mentorship role on the team, where you can hopefully look up to your upperclassmen and talk to them if you need something, or just really see these amazing role models as you're going through the academy.
Does it make it easy for you now to give back to others within the program and any that might be inspired to come out and play?
Oh, it certainly does. And as a captain, like I feel this huge sense of gratitude for the ability that I now have to hopefully help younger players throughout the hall and on the rugby pitch. And it's just been an amazing blessing this year.
I was going to say too, I mean, that role at the Naval Academy means even more, you know, than most places, to be able to interact with the other captains as well. And I know that's something that is incredibly important there, where the captains all get together to be able to share and sometimes even just listen to them. How advantageous is that to be a part of that very rare group?
It's been incredibly advantageous because we have breakfasts together about once a month, and it's an amazing place where we just sit and we talk about different challenges that our teams are facing or different successes that our teams are facing. And we get to share what's working for one team that, hey, maybe we could implement on our team. And even if we're not learning lessons from each other, it's just really great to get to sit down and talk to people about what's going on and bounce ideas off of each other. So it's been amazing, and the other team captains that I've met have all been so amazing and helpful. So I feel incredibly lucky. My co-captain and I feel incredibly happy that we get to share in that tradition here.
Yeah. One of the questions I always like to ask, you know, players and students like yourself, you get to this part of the journey now at the Naval Academy. How different is the Sydney Boutz that showed up on I-Day to the one that I'm talking to right now?
I would say that I have learned a lot, and I think that my priorities have shifted in the best way possible, and that now and especially as a firstie, all I really am dedicated to is making sure that the people around me are taken care of. And being in this role has helped with that a lot, and being on the rugby team has taught me so much about that, because really what matters at the end of the day isn't whether we win or we lose. It's that you are with your team, and that your team is doing, everyone on your team is doing okay, and we're all together. And so yes, that's one huge thing that I've learned over these past 4 years, is just taking care of your people and being with them, and enjoying every moment of it, especially as we're hitting first year, my class and I. It's so important to us that we just get to enjoy every moment we have with the team.
Indeed. Well said. Enjoy the game coming up on Friday. Love the energy. Best of luck to you and your teammates as you look for a star on Friday at Army.
Thank you so much, sir.